Well, our old friend is back in Cleveland. The injury bug is working its way through the Cleveland Browns roster, and it's taking its toll on the team. Anthony Meglin here with you on Cleveland Browns on SI. Talking injuries tonight and how the Browns are going to have to respond to all of the injuries that they've sustained early on in this season. Now, we're not a stranger to this, right? You go back to 2023, and that team was bruised and battered unlike any team had ever been, even in the NFL's history. And that Cleveland team ended up going to the playoffs, goes 11-5, 11-6, first round exit in the playoffs. Now this team, it's a little bit different. This season is off to a pretty rough start. You go 1-2 through 3 games, which you arguably should be 3-0. You lose to the Cowboys, who turns out maybe not as good as they looked in week 1. Then you fall to the Giants, who are competing, or we thought they were competing to be one of the worst teams in all of the NFL. But they got the best you on Sunday on your home turf, and a lot of it was due to the injuries. Wyatt Teller left the game early on, and it really shook the entire offensive line. Jedrick Wills, while he is scheduled to at least play this week, he left the game with a knee injury after he got rolled up on. DeJuan Jones got benched and then was put back in thanks to James Hudson getting rolled up on and having an injury himself. And by the end of the game, it was Nick Harris at center. Ethan Posick bumped out to left guard. Joel Bitonio bumped out to left tackle. You had your last sub in at right guard, and then you had James Hudson playing at right tackle. You went from your starting group to start the game to a group that you never thought you'd expect to see the combination of at the end of the game. And it really paid dividends. The Browns offense struggled mightily on Sunday afternoon, having 8 sacks, led the league in sacks given up. And it showed. You lost a game that you really shouldn't have lost to, or you lost the game you really shouldn't have lost. And you did so in a pretty disappointing way. And on the flip side of the ball, it's not getting any better. Myles Garrett dealing with some kind of a foot issue that he said stemmed back to a surgery he had when he was a kid. But regardless, you don't like to see it. He was hardly he was a shell of himself on Sunday towards the end of the game. Still graded out very well. Was the highest graded defensive player in all of the NFL. But he is battling some injuries. Denzel Ward battling a shoulder injury. It's just not great for the Browns on the injury front. But as the NFL goes, it doesn't stop. And the Browns have a very short time to find the answer because they're heading out west, going to Las Vegas on Sunday afternoon to take on the Raiders, who, again, this is a team you need to beat. You need to come back 2-2, heading home for a game against the Washington Commanders, which we saw on Monday Night Football. That's a team to keep your eye on because Jaden Daniels looks to be looks to be one of the better picks early on, at least, in that 2024 NFL draft. For more content just like this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cleveland Browns on SI. We got you covered also in the written word over on si.com/NFL/Browns for everything Browns, from post-game interviews to post-practice interviews to film reviews and everything in between. We got you covered here. But we thank you for spending some time with us tonight. And as always, go Browns.